Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, we're going to be doing a deep dive into something that's been making a lot of noise in the business world. You know what makes Indian managers so successful globally?
That's a good one.
We're going to be looking at it through the lens of this book called The Made in India Manager by R. Gopalakrishnan and Dr. Ranjan Banerjee.
Yeah.
So kind of an interesting topic, right?
Yeah, it's fascinating, actually. You know, Indian managers actually lead more S&P 500 companies than any other nationality besides Americans.
Whoa, I had no idea. I had no idea it was that significant. What is the secret sauce? Is it in their chai? Okay, I'm kidding, but seriously, where do we even begin to unpack this?
Well, the book starts by taking us back in time. India has this incredibly long-standing trading tradition, and the authors link it to the Arthashastra, which is believed to be the world's first treatise on economics.
Okay, so we're going way back. I vaguely remember the Arthashastra from a college course. It's pretty dense stuff, right?
It is, but the authors highlight a really interesting concept from it: ethical wealth creation. The idea is that profit isn't inherently bad, as long as it's earned with integrity.
Okay. I like that. That's a refreshing perspective, especially in today's business world, where profits often seem to come at the expense of ethics.
Exactly. And the authors argue that this principle is woven into the fabric of Indian business culture. It shapes how Indian managers approach decision-making and leadership.
So it's not just about skills and strategies. It's about a deep-rooted value system.
Precisely. And then there's the influence of India's incredibly diverse society, what the authors call a colloidal society. Think about it. You've got a vibrant mix of religions, languages, customs, all coexisting.
Yeah, that's one of the things that makes India so unique and captivating. But how does that translate to managerial success?
Navigating such a complex social environment from a young age instills a remarkable adaptability and resilience in Indian managers. They learn to bridge cultural divides, manage conflicting perspectives, and find creative solutions to challenges.
It's like a real-world MBA in cultural intelligence.
Exactly. And let's not forget the advantage of fluency in English. It's the language of global business. And Indian managers are generally very comfortable communicating in English.
All right, so we've got this foundation of ethical business practices, a culture that fosters adaptability and strong English skills. But there's got to be more to it, right?
Oh, there's definitely more. The book digs into the incredibly competitive academic environment in India. Remember those IIT entrance exams?
Oh, yeah. I've heard those are insanely tough.
The acceptance rate is less than 1%. So imagine the level of focus and discipline it takes to even get into those institutions. That kind of pressure cooker environment from a young age shapes Indian managers in a profound way.
They're basically forged in fire. It's like they've been training for the global business arena their entire lives.
The authors connect this to Daniel Goleman's research on focus. He argues that intense focus actually rewires the brain, making individuals more resilient under pressure and less likely to be swayed by emotions.
That's fascinating. So it's not just about being smart. It's about having this deep-seated ability to stay calm and focused when things get tough. You know, the book also shares some really heartwarming anecdotes about the role of family in shaping Indian managers.
Absolutely. Family values and strong support systems play a huge role in nurturing self-belief and resilience.
They gave the example of Anand Mahindra, the chairman of the Mahindra Group, who credits his father with teaching him the importance of humility. There's also Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, who attributes his empathy and emotional intelligence to his mother's influence.
Those personal stories really bring the book to life, and they highlight how these values instilled from childhood translate into leadership qualities that are highly valued in the global business world.
The authors also talk about inclusivity as a core Indian value. They share this anecdote about how extended family is always welcome in Indian homes, linking it to the principle of Atithi Devo Bhava, which means the guest is God.
It's a beautiful concept, and it speaks to a broader cultural value of hospitality and welcoming people from all walks of life. This inclusiveness translates into an ability to connect with and build relationships with people from diverse backgrounds, a crucial skill for global leaders.
It's like they have this innate ability to build bridges and foster trust. Now let's get to this fascinating paradox the book explores. Thinking in English, acting in Indian. What exactly does that mean?
Indian managers are often educated in a system that emphasizes Anglo-American business practices, so they're trained to think in terms of Western management models. But they operate in a cultural context that's deeply rooted in Indian traditions and values.
So it's like they have these two seemingly contradictory worlds colliding within them.
Exactly. And the book dives into how this duality plays out in real-life situations. For instance, they contrast the approaches of Unilever and Tata Sons, two iconic companies towards employee discipline and retirement.
Oh, yeah, I remember that part. It was really eye-opening. Can you walk us through those examples?
Sure. So Unilever, being a multinational giant, has very strict process-driven policies. In one case, an employee was found to have falsified an expense report. They followed a clear disciplinary process, which ultimately led to the employee's termination.
Okay. That sounds pretty standard for a large corporation. What about Tata Sons?
Tata Sons, on the other hand, took a more nuanced approach. When a similar situation arose, they considered the employee's long tenure with the company and the circumstances surrounding the incident. They opted for a more compassionate route, reprimanding the employee but allowing him to keep his job.
Wow, that's a stark contrast. It really highlights the difference in cultural perspectives. Unilever prioritized adhering to the rules, while Tata Sons focused on the human element and the long-term relationship with the employee.
Precisely. And this difference also extends to retirement policies. Unilever strictly adheres to retirement age, while Tata Sons is more flexible, often extending employment for valuable individuals, or creating advisory roles for them post-retirement.
So this thinking in English, acting in Indian duality presents both challenges and opportunities for Indian managers, right?
Absolutely. It can be a tightrope walk navigating between these two worlds, but it also equips them with a unique perspective and a skill set that's highly valuable in today's globalized business world.
It's like having a secret weapon. Now, the book also talks about how globalization, technology, and evolving values are shaping the next generation of Indian managers. What's changing?
Well, this new generation is coming of age in a very different India. They're more exposed to the world, more confident, and incredibly comfortable in a globalized environment.
They're digital natives, right? Growing up with the internet and technology at their fingertips.
Exactly. They're super tech savvy, highly adaptable, and often they're in a hurry to make their mark. The authors talk about this impatience as a defining characteristic of this generation.
Impatience can be a double-edged sword, though, right? On the one hand, it can drive innovation and a sense of urgency, but it can also lead to mistakes and a lack of long-term vision.
That's a great point. The book acknowledges this potential downside. They also highlight how technology, while empowering, can sometimes hinder the development of strong interpersonal skills.
So it's like they're masters of the digital world, but they might struggle with those face-to-face interactions that are so crucial in leadership roles.
Exactly. And that's why companies are starting to adapt. The book emphasizes the importance of creating work environments that foster learnability and adaptability.
So it's not just about attracting top talent. It's about creating a culture where they can continuously learn, grow, and adapt to the ever-changing demands of the business world.
Right. It's about recognizing that the skills needed to succeed today might be different tomorrow.
It's like the classic saying, the only constant is change.
Exactly. And this brings us to another crucial point the book raises: self-awareness and humility.
These seem like pretty fundamental qualities for anyone, not just managers, right? Why are they especially important in this context?
Well, the authors argue that Indian managers, especially those from this new generation, sometimes struggle with self-awareness because their upbringing might have emphasized technical expertise over social and emotional skills.
That makes sense. They might be brilliant engineers or analysts,
Right.
but they might need to work on developing their emotional intelligence.
Exactly. And that's why the book highlights the importance of mentorship, feedback, and introspection. It's about helping young managers recognize their strengths and weaknesses, understand how their actions impact others, and cultivate a sense of humility.
They share that anecdote about Satya Nadella's first interview at Microsoft. He was clearly brilliant, but he came across as lacking empathy.
That story is a powerful reminder that even the most successful people have areas where they need to grow and develop.
It's also a testament to the transformative power of self-awareness. Nadella clearly took that feedback to heart, and he's become a leader known for his empathy and emotional intelligence.
Exactly. It's a journey, not a destination. Now, the book wouldn't be complete without some practical advice for aspiring managers.
Okay, I'm all ears. What are some of the key takeaways for anyone looking to excel in a leadership role?
First and foremost, they emphasize the importance of developing learnability. In today's world, you've got to be a lifelong learner, constantly seeking out new knowledge and skills.
That's so true. The world is changing so rapidly that if you're not learning, you're falling behind. Any tips on how to cultivate this learnability?
The book suggests things like seeking out mentors, attending conferences, reading widely, and taking online courses. It's about being proactive and curious.
So it's about having that growth mindset, that belief that you can always learn and improve.
Precisely. And then there's adaptability. Being able to adjust to new situations, embrace change, and find creative solutions to challenges is absolutely essential in today's dynamic work environment.
Any advice on how to become more adaptable?
The book suggests stepping outside of your comfort zone, experimenting with new approaches, and being open to feedback. It's about being comfortable with uncertainty and embracing the unknown.
That's a great reminder. Sometimes we get too stuck in our routines and ways of doing things. We need to be willing to shake things up a bit.
Absolutely. And finally, they talk about handling success with humility.
This is so important, isn't it? It's easy to let success go to your head and become arrogant or complacent.
Exactly. The authors emphasize the importance of staying grounded, remembering that success is often a team effort, and giving credit where credit is due.
They also talk about the importance of giving back to the community and using your success to make a positive impact on the world.
Right. And they share inspiring stories of Indian managers who've done just that, using their positions of power and influence to create opportunities for others and address social issues.
So it's not just about climbing the corporate ladder. It's about making a difference.
Precisely. And that brings us to the book's overarching message. The Made in India manager isn't just a label, it's a mindset. It's about embracing a set of values, skills, and perspectives that can lead to success, not just in the business world, but in life.
It's a really inspiring message. Yeah. Okay, so we've talked about all these interesting things about, what shapes Indian managers and, kind of what drives their success on this global scale. But what does it mean for, the average listener? How can we apply these lessons to our own careers? What's the takeaway for someone who's maybe not Indian or, aspiring to be a CEO of a Fortune 500 company?
That's a great question. And I think that's where the real power of this book lies. It's not just about understanding Indian managers, it's about extracting universal principles of leadership and success that anyone can apply, regardless of their background or aspirations.
So it's like a blueprint for becoming a more effective leader in any field.
Exactly. Think about the core themes we've discussed: ethical decision-making, adaptability, resilience, continuous learning, self-awareness, humility. These are qualities that transcend cultural boundaries and are valuable in any profession, whether you're a teacher, an entrepreneur, an artist, or a scientist.
It's about developing a mindset that equips you to navigate the complexities of the modern world and make a meaningful contribution.
Right. And the book offers practical advice on how to cultivate these qualities. For instance, they talk about the importance of seeking out mentors who can guide you, challenge you, and provide honest feedback.
Yeah, that's something I found incredibly valuable in my own career. Having someone you trust to bounce ideas off of and get, a different perspective can be, game-changing. The book also talks about the importance of stepping outside of your comfort zone and embracing new experiences.
Yes. That's how you grow and develop new skills. It could be taking on a challenging project at work, volunteering for a cause you care about, or even just trying a new hobby.
It's about pushing yourself beyond those perceived limitations.
Yeah.
Right. And discovering those hidden talents and strengths.
Exactly. And remember what we discussed about the thinking in English, acting in Indian paradox. It's not just about Indian managers. It's a reminder that we all operate within multiple cultural contexts.
We all have our own kind of unique blend of influences and experiences that shape our worldview.
Right. And being aware of these influences, both personal and cultural, can help us become more effective communicators, collaborators, and leaders.
Yeah, it's understanding that there are different ways of seeing the world and approaching problems, right?
Precisely. And that open-mindedness, that willingness to consider different perspectives, is essential in today's interconnected world.
It's about building bridges rather than walls.
Well said. And that brings us to a really thought-provoking question the authors pose. How can you apply these insights to your own career path?
It's a call to action, right? It's about taking ownership of your own development and figuring out how to leverage these principles to achieve your goals and make a positive impact. What are some specific steps that our listeners can take?
Well, a great starting point would be to reflect on your own strengths and weaknesses. What are you naturally good at? Where do you have room for improvement? Once you have a clear understanding of your own capabilities, you can start to identify specific areas where you can apply the lessons from the book.
So, for instance, if you're someone who realizes that you need to work on your adaptability, you could seek out opportunities to challenge yourself and step outside of that comfort zone.
Exactly. Or if you're struggling with self-awareness, you could ask for feedback from colleagues or mentors. The key is to be proactive and intentional about your growth.
And don't be afraid to experiment, right? Try different approaches.
Yeah.
Learn from your mistakes. Keep pushing yourself to grow.
Absolutely. And remember, leadership isn't just about titles or positions. It's about influence. It's about inspiring others, making a difference, and leaving a positive mark on the world.
That's such an important reminder. So if you're looking for inspiration, practical advice, and just a roadmap for becoming a more effective and impactful leader, I highly recommend checking out The Made in India Manager.
It's a fascinating read that offers valuable insights for anyone, regardless of their background or career aspirations.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive into The Made in India Manager. We hope you enjoyed kind of exploring these insights with us and that you'll walk away with some valuable takeaways for your own journey.
Yeah, it was great.
We'd love to hear from you. What are your biggest takeaways from the book? What resonated with you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below.
And if you enjoyed this deep dive, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to Book Reviews 1 for more insightful discussions like this.
We release new episodes every week, so hit that notification bell so you don't miss out. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep making a difference.